Hey everyone. Well, I was once told snow means a new beginning. I sure hope that's true because I just finished my second consecutive red day. Out of the last 20 days, 2 days are red, 18 days green, but these last 2 red days have been tough. So, hoping to bounce back tomorrow, Friday, with a green day, finish the week strong, going into next week feeling good. All right, I'm going to break it all down in the recap today. Any questions, any comments, leave them below. I'll come back through and answer them later this afternoon. All right, see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. So, time for our midday market recap. We're going to go over the trades from this morning. I'm going to be finishing the day in the red, second red day in a row. Definitely a little bummed out about that. I was hoping to come back, get set up back in my home office, have a green day, make a little money, but, I just didn't happen. And it's a combination of sort of factors. Definitely a big one is just the overall market today not being quite as easy for me. And in fact, the last week or so has been a little bit more difficult. So today's going to be red day number 2, down $2,908.43. Don't want to forget about the cents. So it's the 226th day of the year. But today, so in the last 20 days, I've had 2 red days and 18 green days. During those 18 green days, I made about $75,000. So, giving back $4,000 off the top now is close to 5% drawdown versus the last 20 days. But, I'm not pumped about it, but I'm also not going to be, bent out of shape about it because this is just part of the deal with being a trader. There's ups and downs. There's no such thing as a trader who makes money 100% of the time. The only thing that makes money 100% of the time is the broker, right? the house, and and maybe some algorithms or something. But and of course, I'm sure even then it depends on what scale you're looking at, because when your scale is all the way down to maybe like an hourly scale, are there some hours where a broker might lose money or a hedge fund algo might lose money? Sure. Are there some days where it might lose money? Maybe. Are there some weeks where it might lose money? Well, probably rarely. Are there some months where it might lose money? Hopefully not. For me, when I'm down in the time frame of daily, there are some days where I lose money. Step back to the weekly. Occasionally, I'll have a red week. A couple times a year, maybe a few times a year, I'll have a red week. This week I'm down let's see. This week I made $2,000 on Monday and Tuesday, so I'm down about $2,000 now on the week. So this might end up being a red week, and that happens a few times a year. Red months, I've only had 1 red month this year. So, once you start stepping back, and then what about red quarter? I haven't had a red quarter since I was a beginner trader. A red year, I haven't had a red year since I was a beginner trader. So, when you start to step back, confidence is restored that, all right, this is just a little, little blip, and it's not the end of the world. But of course, when you're sitting here trading, you're so hyper focused, you've got tunnel vision, and you're looking straight at your P&L and the stock that's moving today. And that's your focus, and you don't think about all this other stuff. And so when you're in that tunnel vision, it can convince you on a day like today, you know what? I really don't want to close the day red. So if I don't want to close the day red, I guess I should just keep trading until I'm not red anymore. So you take trade number 4, then you take trade number 5, trade number 6, trade number 7, trade number 8. And maybe in some of those trades, there'll be a green trade, but will it be enough to get you out of the hole? Probably not. And what you're going to do is you're going to use up a lot of that mental, kind of bandwidth, just trying to dig yourself out of the hole. You're going to get yourself more and more and more frustrated. And then when you finally get out of the tunnel and look around, what's your P&L look like? You might be down $10,000, $15,000, maybe $20,000. Maybe you're down $100,000. And I've seen all of that happen to traders. And I've had a lot of that happen even to me. I mean, I've had a day where I sat here down $5,000 sitting and waiting for the next trade. just sitting and waiting, hoping for something to pop up that would give me an opportunity to get out of the hole. And I jumped into something really aggressively, spiking up on the scanners, kind of like ADIL just did, and promptly lost $25,000, and it became the worst day of my career, down $30,000. So, take it from someone who's done this before. Earlier, I think Randy or one of our other students asked if I could stick around and keep calling out, setups as I see them. Because I said, okay, guys, 3 red trades, that's rule number 3. 3 red trades in a row, I'm walking away. So I'm leaving. And I said, well, if I sit and I keep throwing out ideas, based on my accuracy today, I'm going to throw out a couple more losing ideas because I'm just not really hot today. Maybe it's the market, maybe it's me. I think it's a combination probably of both. But for whatever reason, I'm not on today. So if I keep throwing out ideas, odds are they're not going to be very good. And also, I'm sort of trying to do a lot of things at once. I mean, I'm trying to trade my own account and do what's smart for my own account while also, being a teacher for all of you guys. And so sometimes, typically those are compatible, but there are times where they're not compatible. And on a day like today, the right thing to do for me as a trader is to get as far away from my computer screen as possible so I don't keep trading, because I need to manage my own risk. I know for you as a student, you're probably like, well, why don't you just sit and hang out with us? And, if you do see something like ADIL pop up, walk us through it. And I guess the problem for me is that it's very hard to do that without going ahead and pulling the trigger on the trade. And then that's how you end up taking trade number 4, 5, and 6. And that's when it can get bad. So, in any case, I saw John walked away earlier today as well. He sent me his P&L. He was up like $300 today. So he actually did a little bit better than me. But, it wasn't an easy day for sure. I mean, it just generally it was not an easy morning. And the last few days haven't been easy. Yesterday I lost $800. The day before I only made $900. The day before that I only made $900. Those are small green days. So I haven't had a really big home run in about a week and a half. And it's kind of disappointing because, December of last year was my best month of the year. I mean, it was a really great month. And, here, December 2018, I'm only up right now. Why is this drawer not closing? I'm really not up that much. And it's kind of, a bummer. I was really hoping to finish the year with, another really strong month. Granted, we still have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 11 days left in the year. So things can turn around really quick. I mean, I've had mornings where I was like, I don't want to do anything this morning except for just try to be green, and then, I make $10,000. Mary Beth, so, I mean, the thing is, yeah, I could trade in the simulator, but if I'm not calling out good ideas, if the market is not hot, then it doesn't really matter whether it's sim money or real money. It's not helpful. And if this is just me, my account, I'm down 3 red trades, but is this a reflection of how easy or difficult it is to trade today? Because if it is, then it's probably not a good day for a beginner trader, even in sim, to really keep, kind of pushing it. You're most likely going to get frustrated. You're not going to see good resolution. You're going to lose money. And I don't want to have days where, you also feel kind of just discouraged because the market is just, slow, but you keep trading, you keep, pushing it, and then you lose money, even if it isn't sim. So anyways, let's break down the trades from today. So let's see, I'll get this a little closer. All right. So gap scanner this morning, let's see, time frame, historical date, we'll just do like 9:25 a.m. Okay. So leading gapper, ADIL, gapping up 38%, as you can see right here. So on this one, I lost $700 on it. It was gapping up pre-market. It had a pre-market high, as you can see here, of 290. So as soon as the bell rang, I jumped in for the break over 290. I ended up kind of not getting the best fills. let's see. I got in at 89, and then I doubled at 98. So I was in with 6,000 shares at 94, and then we had like a, I don't know, 10 or 12,000 share seller at $3. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe I should try to unwind the position a little bit. Sold some at 99 and 98, and then it flushed down here to 70 to 63, and I stopped out at 73, and yeah, I guess that was at 73. So that was kind of a bummer, and that was, you know, right out of the gates. I mean, this just flushed. Came down, ended up doing a little bit of a red to green move here, squeezing back up to 310, another 1 minute micro pullback, ended up failing, a rejection. Dropped back down, all the way back down, back to basically the lows. So it's back down to this level. And, you know, granted, a little bit of support here at the 260 level. Not enough to justify to me an entry. Just kind of going sideways. And then all of a sudden right here, it blasts through $3, goes to high a day, squeezes up, gets halted at 363. Resumes, taps a high of 389, and has now faded a little bit off those levels. So on the daily chart, this has room up to 5, and that's why I was initially interested in it this morning, but it didn't make the breakout when I got in. It did this red to green move, then it sold off, and then finally here it made a big breakout, but then after the halt, it kind of just gave a little final push and then is sold off. So this may set up another 5-minute chart pattern for later today. Maybe it will get up over 4. Maybe it will even hit 5. But, you know, 13 million shares of volume, 66% gain. Considering all that, it's been a little harder to trade than I would have expected. So on this one, I am, you know, taking the $786 loss and done with it. Next one was MYOS. This one I jumped into pretty aggressively. It spiked up right here. It looked like it was going to go higher. I was looking at this on a daily chart at that above $1.99, above $2. You know, then it had room to go up towards 250. So I jumped in at 74, 78, and 79, and then added at 80, really thinking it was going to go, but it was just so thick with sellers. I ended up selling it at 75, 81, and where else? 72. So considering I had 12,000 shares, losing only $386 is not a bad loss, but that was disappointing. So now I'm down $1,000 on the day. Trade number 3, CHEK. This one was on our gap scanner this morning. It pops up on the Momo scanner. I see it and I'm like, okay, you know, I knew there was a headline on it. And so I jumped into this one as it started to squeeze up here. It squeezed, as you can see, from 360 all the way up to 398. So I jumped in this one at 66, 68, 73, and 73. Got a partial fill on this order. So I had 9,500 shares. Sold some at 96, only a tiny amount. And then I added back 6,000 shares at 91 and 95 for the break over $4. I mean, I'm stepping up to the plate here, and we just didn't get that break over 4. You know, if we'd gotten the break of 4 and a move up to 420, 450, this would have been a really nice winner. My average was like 380 or 384 with, I think, 14,000 shares. So, you know, on this one, I was ready for to step it up, and, you know, up to 420 would have been $4,000 or $5,000 of profit, but we didn't do a 1 minute micro pullback and go higher. We did a 1 minute micro pullback, and I just had to sell because it was coming down too far. So I lost $1,700 on that one. You know, and that's just the way it goes. So that's it. 3 trades, 3 losses. Stepped up to the plate on 2 of them. ADIL was kind of small. And I'm just going to follow the rules today. So, you know, in the sense that 3 red trades puts me below rule number 3. And I'm also down more than $2,000, which is rule number 2. So, you know, keeping losses relatively tight is what will keep you in the market. Considering my account size and everything else, a $3,000 red day is certainly not the end of the world. My account this morning was at $201,000, so be back down below 200K tomorrow, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's not a big red day. You know, survive till you thrive, keep your head above water, live to trade another day. You know, all of that stuff is you know, relevant on a day like today. I'd love to be green, but you know, it's just this is the hardest part of being a trader, is that you know, you're gonna have days where you sit down, you follow the rules, you do kind of everything you're supposed to do, and on a day when the market was hot, what would have happened with CHEK? 1 minute micro pullback would have gotten bought up, would have squeezed up to 4, maybe 420, maybe even gotten halted at 440. Could have been, you know, a $7,000 winner. That could have been a really big win on a hot day. MYOS on a hot day, this micro pullback would have bought up, would have broken over $2, would have been selling my 12,000 shares from 180 or whatever it was at $2, $2,400 there. ADIL in a hot market would have broken over 4, and with 6,000 shares, I probably would have made $600 to maybe $1,200 at most, or broken over 3. That one wouldn't have been a home run, but it would have been a bigger winner, and that would have gotten my cushion started. So I wouldn't say that, you know, I would just say my trades in a hot market would have worked well, and today in a cold market, they were a little bit too aggressive for just kind of the market that we were in. So, you know, got to bring it back down. Tomorrow, Friday, you know, I don't want to have a third red day recap, so I just have to try to be focused right out of the gates on getting a green trade, getting myself in the driver's seat. It's not about making back the losses from yesterday or today. It's just about trying to be, you know, just trying to be green and kind of clean the slate from these last 2 red days. And Eris, no, when I hit my daily profit target, I don't walk away. I do keep trading generally, but I set a new rule, which is that I'm not going to give back more than half of my daily profits. And how to tell when the market's hot or cold? I mean, it's kind of hard because yesterday, obviously, we had sort of a big move on UXIN, especially in the afternoon. You know, there were some opportunities, but it didn't feel like it was easy. So I would say a reflection would be how the gappers are performing. The stocks that are gapping up, are they going higher? Because that's going to kind of create FOMO among traders, and then stocks that hit the high day Momo scanner are more likely to open up and make bigger moves. But you know, it's just kind of keeping an eye on the biggest gainers and how clean they're moving, how much they're moving. So, you know, it is kind of based on my trades, on my strategy. So if you trade a totally different strategy, if you're trading Mike's strategy, you might say the market's really hot. If you are a short seller, maybe today you'd say the market's really hot. You did well on CHEK, you shorted ADIL, and MYOS you shorted. So, you know, it's relative, but, you know, from my perspective and from my strategy, it feels a little colder today. All right, so anyways, that's it for me. Again, reminder, today, 1 p.m. Eastern, about an hour and a half, Mike is hosting a workshop on large cap trading for any of you guys who aren't already in the Warrior Pro class. You're welcome to register for that workshop. I put the link in the description on Facebook, and I probably won't put the link on the YouTube video because by the time it gets uploaded, it'll already be past 1 o'clock. So you guys will probably just miss this workshop, but can attend the next one. All right, so I hope you guys have a great afternoon. We'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning around 9:15 for pre-market analysis, and hopefully I'm able to finish the week with a couple of green trades. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye, everyone.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.